All right, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to avoid a common trap that so many COP facilitators fall into, one that will seriously limit the success of their communities of practice. So I've been running an evaluation community of practice for the CDC for over 5 years now. It's entirely virtual. We have a few hundred members from all around the country. But before we started, very few of these people knew each other. The fact that they didn't know each other adds a very specific challenge. But to really understand why, first you need to know how a COP is supposed to work. There are some technical definitions out there, but let's keep it simple. The idea behind a community of practice is that you bring together people who are working on similar things. They can then help each other, probably a lot better than the people who are experts but just don't work in the same context. Right now, in our hyper digital world, we people are more disconnected than ever. The web has enabled us to work with people living in different locations, and we can work from home, which I think is great, but it also changes things. If you want to start a community of practice in an office where everybody works together, all you really have to do is book a room. Have a speaker series that would be interesting to these specific people. You could even bring donuts or serve lunch. When you bring people together in a physical space, there are always opportunities to meet and talk to people, especially if you do this over and over again. A series of awkward conversations can eventually turn into really solid connections. But let's say your community does not work together in the same office. They work all over the place. And it's not really a community because they don't know each other. If you follow the old model, you would start up a Zoom room and find a speaker who would be interesting to the audience. And this is the trap. Unlike physical spaces, digital spaces do not create the same kinds of strong connections between your participants. So people don't get to know each other. They come for the talk, and if it's just a boring lecture, they might keep their camera off, eat their lunch, and scroll around on Facebook. May teach them a thing or two sometimes, but what it doesn't do is bring together a community. So, what do you do instead? This is your situation. Here's my advice. Your first goal as a facilitator of a community of practice is to build connections between your participants. They need to know each other in order for them to really be able to help each other out. Here's what I've done that I think works really well. First, we still meet regularly, about once a month, but the speakers for the session almost always come from the community because the goal is not just to learn from the presenter, but to get to know them. I also usually have several presenters in a single session. If it's a 90-minute session, I have 3 different presenters. If it's a 60-minute session, I have 2. I also let every speaker know that they are there to share their experience. This isn't a conference presentation where they need to be an authority figure. They can do a show and tell, or they can talk about mistakes and challenges. In fact, some of the most powerful sessions are the ones where nobody has the answer. Sometimes during our longer sessions, we spend the last half hour in small breakout groups. Groups are given a relevant topic to chat about, but it's not super structured. Getting to know your peers almost always involves a little bit of discomfort, especially for those of us who are introverts. But there are plenty of people who don't participate in a room of 100 and who won't volunteer to present, but will turn their cameras on and chat in a small group of like 10 people. In addition to individual session speakers and occasional breakouts, I also like to have a volunteer COP advisory group that rotates members. This creates additional opportunities for people to get to know each other as they talk through their work and what potential topics might be useful for future sessions. The last thing is something we're just starting to experiment with. I call it our Pen Pal program. We've asked all our participants for anyone who would like to get to know a few of their peers on a more one-on-one basis. Our plan is to match those people and give them prompts so that they can start an email exchange, maybe even have a one-on-one call. We just started, and I don't know how well this will work, but I'm optimistic. So that's it. To sum it up, if you're starting a COP in our virtual world, here are my tips. 1. Pull most of your speakers from inside your community, not from the outside. 2. Introduce a voluntary COP advisory group and invite anyone who would like to join. 3. Take advantage of the breakout group function in Zoom or other tools with some semi-structured small group activities. And finally, just remember, before you can build capacity, you need to start by building community. And if you're an organization considering starting a virtual community of practice, reach out for a free consultation. You'll find the link to my calendar at freshspectrum.com/consulting. And good luck.